Welcome back. Now, the two teams of teenage entrepreneurs will be jetting off to California soon to represent South Africa at the annual Global Sage World Cup. Now, the teams from Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal came out tops in the local competition in Durban recently. Well, Students for the Advancement of Global Entrepreneurship is an international non-profit corporation dedicated to teenage entrepreneurs. 18 teams from all 9 provinces competed in 2 leagues for the coveted Entrepreneur of the Year award just last month. Now, the training was facilitated by Professor Johan van Zyl and the University of the Free State's Economic and Management Sciences faculty. At the end of the workshop, however, a team consisting of Parktown Boys and Macaulay House in Gauteng was crowned the winner. Maritzburg College was the runner-up. Now, joining us in studio are some of the pupils who will be representing, of course, the country in California in August. We're joined by Mkiva, Kamorelo Chabalala, Tendo Mdau, and Sihle Mandla. Ladies, gentlemen, welcome. Congratulations. I see you came bearing gifts. Huh? Just trolling the whole country, showing off. You who, of course, are the winners. Congratulations. Let's start with how this particular win made you feel. Did you anticipate that you would be representing the country in such a global and, big platform like this?
Definitely not. It was our first time, and many of the teams were like their second time or third time, so we were slightly intimidated. So we're not that confident about it.
Really?
We were quite surprised.
So it was scary for you as well, Sihle?
Absolutely. I was super shocked. I never expected to go this far. The fact that we're actually going international is really major.
Oh my goodness. Mkiva, let's talk about what you expect. Since you are going to Sage, what do you anticipate would be the experience like?
Going to America, may I ask? Or,
yeah, to the competition.
It's going to be tough. I think we're going to have to just bring our A game, work hard. It's already here in Durban, we were bombarded with work and everything.
Yeah.
But hopefully we get the chance to prove to the world we mean something and we want to change the world as it is with our idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tendo, what does this mean for South Africa? You came with the flag. I think we need, that patriotism right now so we can rally behind the whole team. But what does this win and this trip to California mean to South Africa?
To me, it says, as a black child, it is possible to go anywhere, no matter which background you come from. So these young lives, I got to work with them, show them the entrepreneurship side of the world. Now, it's their time to take the South African flag and fly it high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, because this is an opportunity for South Africa and the continent to shine, for us to show that we do have solutions to our problems, not just to be where the West and, the first world countries dump their solutions, but be where we can come up with solutions. But what do some of your initiatives solve? What problems are you solving?
Okay, our first problem that we're trying to solve is unemployment, because our platform, our business idea is providing a platform for service providers and clients. So service providers can come to us and advertise themselves, which means that they get access to a larger audience.
Yeah. And yourself, Sihle?
And in that way, once we actually employ people, we can then alleviate poverty. So that also contributes to that.
Yeah. And for you, Mkiva, when you're also thinking about your business idea or some of, the amazing solutions you have towards the country's problems, were you thinking about the fact that we're leading more into a digital economy? Everything is online. We're using technology. Was that something you had to think about?
Yes, I did, definitely. When I was actually drafting the idea and everything, I kind of wanted to look at modern-day businesses that are thriving, using a new structure called the market space.
Right.
You see this with companies like Uber and Airbnb, where they like the face of the company, and I wanted to kind of implement it in a South African problem, so a modern day problem we have, and try tackling it.
Yeah.
And see what we come up with the solution, and then came up with the idea of a market space for service providers, connecting them with clients at the end of the day.
Well, the idea was fruitful, because you're jetting off to California. I mean, it definitely worked in your advantage, right? But Tendo, let's talk about the importance then of introducing even entrepreneurship in our schools, because these are teenagers who came up with their ideas, but we don't necessarily see a curriculum in our schools right now where entrepreneurship is prioritized. Clearly, this is setting a different standard.
I guess this is why Sage is important to us as South Africans, because I, for one, coming from a rural school, the only careers we know of is doing medicine, engineering, and that's all we know. But there are other things like entrepreneurship, like business studies, and all these things. So Sage exposes children to such platforms. It teaches them things like marketing, and so and so. So Sage to us, it says, black child, you can be anything.
Yeah.
You are a star if you believe and work towards it.
Oh man, I'm excited. Can I come along? Just to watch, observe, be a fly on the wall, because I'm telling you, you have no competition whatsoever. But obviously coming back home, post the competition, you do have plans to make sure that this is, just a stepping stone to where you want to go. Where do you perhaps see your businesses, your projects, let's say in the next 5 years?
Thank you.
Where do you see, you can start?
Oh, okay. So obviously, Gazer is going to expand. We're not stopping. Whether we take the trophy or not, we need to start making profit. And we want to see a change in South Africa, actually. We want to see that we actually are making a contribution and are making a difference.
Right. But with that also comes, mentorship. You need access to information, access to resources. Have you considered that, Nkiva? Do you have those in place to assist you to grow your business, or are you still looking?
Now, we have a few resources. Obviously, with it would be better if we could get more help. But currently, I'm working with students from Witwatersrand who's helping us program our app. And we were able to get enough resources to actually hire a professional website designer who's helping us design our website on the Yeah, but obviously we would like more as time goes, but we need to earn that respect to get more. So we're kind of working on that through Sage.
It's a credibility thing that you also have to work on, right? And Tendo, I suppose I'm asking this question because at times when there are competitions, you get a winner and then we celebrate the winner and then we never hear about them or about the initiatives, or perhaps they die down because, the post experience in terms of not having enough support discourages them. How do we make sure that teenagers, particularly those in, entrepreneurship, receive that support so they can continue going on?
Well, we expect support from business people in South Africa. Here are young children with bright minds, and all they need is support and for you to hold their hand. Financial support where possible would go a long way. So what we're asking from business people is to support this initiative, support Sage, and yes, let's work together to grow this country.
It's a more collaborative effort, right? Government has to be a part of it, entrepreneurs, business people, community members.
Definitely.
But most importantly, also parents, because I know when I was growing up, my mother didn't want to hear anything about any extracurriculum activity that would interrupt my schooling and my books. So how did you perhaps even convince your parents that mom or dad, this is actually viable?
Well, I had to draw up a plan to sort of tell her, okay, this is for my future. This would help me in my university, and so on and so on. So it was quite a challenge to convince my mom, but eventually I did.
Was it the same experience for you where you had to do a pitch? I mean, it was not necessarily a business pitch, but now you had to start with your parents and convince them that this will not interrupt your schooling program. Did you have to find that experience?
Not really, actually. Surprisingly, my parents are actually quite understanding. They actually liked the idea, so it wasn't really a problem for me.
Right. So they were quite supportive.
Very supportive.
And for you, Mkiva?
I could say it's 50-50. With my mom, she was like, definitely I'm up for it. But the one who took a lot of convincing on my side was Dad. But after a while he came along and then he's like, actually I'll support you with your businesses and everything, and I'm grateful for that.
Oh, that's good, because I know if I were a parent and my child wanted to come, I'd be like, I want shares when this is successful, right? I want a cut. But it's good to have parents, and I suppose the message that we're sending out to parents at this time, because it is difficult. I mean, we're seeing the unemployment rate in South Africa. We're looking at the fact that kids are dropping out, they're venturing into more negative activities. How do you motivate the parents, Tendo, especially for their young children who are brilliant and want to venture out in something that is just besides school, but also that could secure their future?
I'd say at first, parents need to understand that times have changed. We are moving into the 4th industrial revolution. The president and Professor Habib had a summit about it just the other day. So parents need to understand that times have changed, and it's not everyone who needs a degree to create work or to create employment for people. So parents must understand that and just give a little freedom to the children to experience and to make their own mistakes, to learn and to grow. And also just support them, listen to their ideas, support them, listen to them. And man, these kids are brilliant.
They're brilliant.
They're brilliant.
And I mean, they're already solving some of the challenges we have in the country, such as retrenchment. So when you have young teenagers coming up with solutions for their future, they're saying we're not going to be part of the cycle, part of the system, and this is to be commended. But of course, there were challenges, obviously, in your journey. Share with us some of the challenges and the pit stops that you had to go through. Come.
The challenges were definitely not getting enough sleep, because we had to sort of make sure that our pitch was just tip top. And it was stressful most of the time.
Really? Yeah, how did you deal with that stress and those challenges then? Was it that hectic, guys?
The pressure was a lot. There was a point where we really couldn't communicate because we were all just so stressed and overwhelmed with the work. That was one of the challenges, actually.
Oh, man. And for you, Mkiva?
Yeah, just like, it got really emotional at times.
Yeah.
Yeah. To a point where like people were even crying. I could like say people were crying. I was fulfilled with anger at a point in time. It's never happened. I was like, what can I even get like this? And then but I'll just say like it was difficult, but like at the end we won. I think that's was like even in awe. I was like, wow, guys,
right.
Got here. In terms of the real business, it was like getting everything like together, the whole team and everything. But now, hopefully, as we go on forward, there'll always be problems. But I guess with a team like this, we can tackle anything.
Yeah, you can. And I think that the simplistic, version, or rather definition of an entrepreneur, is a problem solver. It's not to cruise through entrepreneurship, it's that you actually have to encounter problems and solve them through your business ideas. So you've actually passed that test. But just in closing, Tendo, let's talk about what you're also hoping to achieve and take from the Sage experience. Win or lose, we're not just there for the win, but also what are you hoping that when you come home would actually be the takeaway?
For me, it's growth, impact, and solving this problem. These are real problems, and I just like South Africans to support these kids in any way. And yeah, for me, it's just growing the country one step at a time, one lane at a time.
Thank you so much for taking that first step. Tendo, Mkiva, Sihle, and Gamu, thank you and all the best. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right then.